Welcome to Streaming News Network, Evening Edition, by J. Claude McDaniel. News without the hype and biased reporting. Please like and subscribe.
This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar is once again facing increased public attention, this time because of the legal troubles surrounding his brother. Webb County Sheriff Martin Cuellar is scheduled to appear in court as he faces federal accusations of misusing county employees and government resources to operate a private disinfecting business. Prosecutors allege that county personnel carried out company operations while on and off duty, using county equipment and facilities between 2020 and 2022. If convicted, Martin Cuellar could face up to 10 years in federal prison and a maximum fine of $250,000. Investigators also allege the business generated approximately $175,000 in unlawful proceeds during that period. The case comes just months after Congressman Henry Cuellar received a presidential pardon that ended federal charges accusing him of bribery, conspiracy, and money laundering. Following the pardon, Cuellar announced he would seek another term in Congress, saying the legal issues were behind him. Campaign finance records also show the congressman has financially supported the political campaigns of both his brother and his sister over the years, drawing renewed attention to the family's political connections. Despite the renewed scrutiny, Henry Cuellar has already secured his party's nomination and is preparing for the November general election in one of the nation's most competitive congressional districts. This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Country music legend Dolly Parton has announced an exciting new career milestone, even as she continues recovering from recent health issues. The 80-year-old singer revealed that her new production, Dolly, a true original musical, is headed to Broadway. The show will tell the story of her life through her own words and many of the songs that have defined her remarkable career. While Parton will not perform on stage, she says she has been writing new music specifically for the production, alongside many of her classic hits. The musical is scheduled to begin preview performances in New York this December, with its official opening set for January 19, 2027, a date that coincides with Parton's birthday. The announcement follows an update on her health earlier this year. Parton said she was responding well to treatment and improving steadily, but explained that she still needed more time before returning to live stage performances. Those health concerns led to the cancellation of her planned Las Vegas residency. Parton also endured a difficult personal loss when her husband of nearly 60 years, Carl Dean, passed away last year. She temporarily stepped away from performing before gradually returning to creative projects. Now, with Broadway on the horizon, Dolly Parton is preparing to share her extraordinary life story with audiences in a new and deeply personal way. This is J. Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. A federal judge has approved a settlement between entrepreneur Elon Musk and the Securities and Exchange Commission, while expressing reservations about the agreement's fairness. United States District Judge Sparkle Suknanen ruled that the court's authority is limited to determining whether the settlement meets basic legal standards of fairness and reasonableness. In her written opinion, however, she noted what she described as significant concerns and questioned whether the agreement adequately addressed the alleged violations. Under the settlement, a trust established in Elon Musk's name will pay $1,500,000 to resolve allegations that he waited 11 days longer than required to disclose his early purchases of Twitter stock in the spring of 2022. Federal regulators alleged that the delayed disclosure allowed Musk to continue buying shares before the broader market became aware of his growing ownership, resulting in savings estimated at approximately $150 million. Musk has maintained that the reporting delay was unintentional. Later that year, he completed the acquisition of Twitter for approximately $44 billion and subsequently renamed the platform X. The settlement concludes the civil enforcement action without an admission of wrongdoing. This is J. Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. Authorities in Alberta, Canada, continue to cite the tragic death of Lorna Weaver as one of the country's rare fatal black bear attacks involving a determined predator. The 36-year-old instrument technician was working with a field crew at an oil sands facility north of Fort McMurray when the incident occurred. According to investigators, Weaver had briefly stepped away from her coworkers when a black bear emerged from nearby trees and attacked without warning. Her coworkers immediately attempted to drive the animal away using fire extinguishers, a water cannon, and an air horn. Investigators say the bear repeatedly retreated but continued returning to the scene, preventing rescuers from reaching Weaver. The attack lasted for approximately 1 hour before law enforcement officers arrived and fatally shot the bear. A subsequent investigation, including DNA testing, confirmed the animal was responsible for the attack. Family members remembered Weaver as a compassionate and caring person who loved volunteering, photography, and helping others. They said she had planned to return to school to pursue a career in psychology and thanked her coworkers for their courageous efforts to save her. Wildlife officials describe fatal black bear attacks as extremely uncommon, and the case continues to be referenced in discussions about wilderness safety and wildlife awareness. This is J. Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. Federal immigration authorities have detained a Honduran man following a Connecticut traffic crash and new allegations that he illegally re-entered the United States after multiple deportations. According to federal officials, 39-year-old Belen Antonio Gonzalez Garcia appeared in federal court after being taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement on June 23. Prosecutors say Gonzalez Garcia was previously convicted in Connecticut of first-degree assault in 2009. After serving part of his prison sentence, he was deported to Honduras in 2015. Federal authorities allege he later returned to the United States illegally on multiple occasions. Court records indicate he was apprehended several times by Border Patrol in Texas, served additional prison sentences, and was deported after each case. The latest federal charges follow a traffic crash in Andover, Connecticut, on June 7. State police charged Gonzalez Garcia with operating a vehicle while under the influence, evading responsibility, failing to maintain his lane, and operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. After posting bond on the state charges, Immigration and Customs Enforcement took him into federal custody. He now faces a federal charge of illegal reentry after removal. The criminal case remains pending, and, as with all defendants, he is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. This is J. Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network. An off-duty Chicago police officer has been cleared of criminal wrongdoing after a fatal shooting that occurred during a struggle outside her apartment in January of 2023. Investigators say probationary officer Precious Dunn encountered 39-year-old Levon Smith after he had reportedly been assaulted by several men nearby. According to the investigation, Smith asked to use the officer's cell phone while the group remained in the area. Authorities say a confrontation followed, during which Smith allegedly grabbed the officer from behind and attempted to take her firearm. Video evidence and witness statements reviewed by investigators indicated that a physical struggle ensued before Dunn fired her weapon. Smith later told investigators he tried to seize the gun because he panicked. He died from his injuries 2 days later. The Civilian Office of Police Accountability concluded that Dunn's use of deadly force was objectively reasonable under the circumstances, determining she faced an imminent threat while someone attempted to disarm her. Prosecutors also declined to file criminal charges. Although investigators reviewed allegations involving the display of her firearm, her language during the incident, and her decision not to identify herself as a police officer, they found insufficient evidence that she violated department policy. Dunn stated she feared identifying herself because she believed doing so could place her in greater danger. A civil lawsuit filed by Smith's family against the city of Chicago and Officer Dunn was later dismissed. Dunn has since completed her probationary period and continues to serve as a sworn Chicago police officer. This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Honda is recalling more than 325,000 vehicles in the United States because of a rearview camera defect that could increase the risk of a crash. The recall affects approximately 325,588 Honda Odyssey minivans from the 2018 through 2020 model years. According to federal safety regulators, water can enter the rearview camera assembly, causing the camera image to fail when the vehicle is shifted into reverse. Without a functioning rearview display, drivers may have reduced visibility behind the vehicle, increasing the possibility of an accident. The latest action expands an earlier recall that covered certain 2019 and 2020 Odyssey models. Honda says owners of affected vehicles can have the rearview camera replaced free of charge at authorized dealerships. Notification letters are expected to be mailed beginning August 24. The recall follows other recent Honda safety campaigns involving different vehicle models, including recalls related to rear suspension components and airbag system concerns. Owners are encouraged to check whether their vehicle is included in the recall and schedule repairs as soon as possible. This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Newly released government records are raising questions about the handling of classified information by members of former Special Counsel Jack Smith's office. The records, made public by Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, include internal communications from 2023 and 2024 that describe several reported security incidents. Among them were discussions about access to classified materials without documented confirmation of a need-to-know determination, a report that a classified letter had been left unsecured, and an incident in which a sensitive compartmented information facility, commonly known as a SCIF, was reportedly left unsecured overnight. The records do not establish that classified information was improperly disclosed or that any criminal laws were violated. However, they have prompted calls for additional review of the security procedures followed by personnel involved. Grassley said the documents raise concerns about whether the same standards applied to investigators were also applied in cases involving former President Donald Trump, who was previously prosecuted over allegations involving classified documents. Those criminal cases were later dismissed on separate legal grounds before trial. The senator has requested additional information from the Department of Justice regarding the reported security incidents, including whether any internal investigations were conducted and whether anyone was held accountable. This is J. Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. International music star Bonnie Tyler, the Welsh singer whose unforgettable voice powered some of the biggest hits of the 1980s, has died at the age of 75 following complications from a recent illness. Her family announced that she passed away in a hospital in Portugal, where she had been receiving treatment. Born Gaynor Hopkins in Wales, Tyler rose to international fame with chart-topping songs including Total Eclipse of the Heart, Holding Out for a Hero, and It's a Heartache. Her distinctive raspy vocals and dramatic performances earned her worldwide recognition and multiple Grammy Award nominations. Earlier this year, Tyler underwent emergency intestinal surgery and spent several weeks in intensive care before briefly showing signs of improvement. Her family had kept fans updated throughout her recovery while requesting privacy. Throughout a career spanning nearly 5 decades, Tyler sold millions of records, represented the United Kingdom at the Eurovision Song Contest in 2013, and was honored for her contributions to music with appointment as a member of the Order of the British Empire. She is survived by her husband, Robert Sullivan.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and our short reports. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.